Oh my god, look at this. Is this really Indonesia? How to get here and what about this village you will know in this video. My Turkish friend, she once told me, the villages, that's where you can actually experience the authentic side of the country that you're visiting. I think she's quite true with that. I've now visited so many beautiful villages in Switzerland and all over the world, and I always got to know the most authentic experience you will actually get over there. Now, Indonesia, that's one of my favorite countries I've visited. Certainly Western Sumatra is a region I love very, very much. For my first visit, together with Hanafi, we got to see many of these traditional Rumah Gadang houses. We were really fascinated by the architecture. We just fell in love with that region. We decided to go there again because we enjoyed it so much, but then this time to visit some different places. And upon my research and finding interesting places, we got to find this village here located in Solok Selatan. It seemed to have many of these Rumah Gadang houses. It looked really interesting on the pictures, but then my question was, how is it actually to be there? From Padang takes quite a long drive to reach Solok Selatan. Our journey in the car, it took us 5.5 hours to finally reach this village. And on the way, there were a couple of interesting places. We found these tea plantations. Oh wonder, we were again alone. I think this was something that was really enjoyable about Western Sumatra. It felt like we were the only tourists. We always had this feeling we're actually discovering something. This was really cool. It's really beautiful up here. What do you guys think?
Yes. Yeah, cool, very cool here. Yeah. And the greenery, you can see it from afar. So panoramic.
Yeah. Great spot, non-touristic. And then just further ahead there were these two lakes, the Danau di Atas and Danau di Bawah. That means the upper and the lower lake. We're standing in between, Interlaken vibes. In Switzerland we actually have a town that is in between two lakes. And here in Indonesia and Western Sumatra I found there's something very similar. The only difference is that the lakes, they were not on the same level. No worries, we're getting to the village, but I'm just showing you the way it's far. But then we finally made a stop at this place here. It's a warung. We enjoyed finest Minangkabau food. For those who are yet not so familiar with Padang and Western Sumatra, they have this unique dish, it's called nasi Padang. It's basically like the Indonesian version of tapas. You get a lot of different plates. You can choose which ones you want to have for eating, and you only pay for those. Finally, we arrived at this village. It was like a dream coming true. When I was there up on the tower, I saw indeed there are so many of these beautiful Rumah Gadang houses. The village is actually called KAWASAN Saribu Rumah Gadang. It means the village of 1,000 tall houses. I really like the name because it really describes this village so well. And then we're roaming around the streets. Unfortunately, it was already late in the afternoon. It was a very tiring journey. And then we went to one of the local homestays for overnight. Then that was the thing we were really excited for. We are here in homestay number 7 in the village KAWASAN Saribu Rumah Gadang. And yeah, this is our first experience to stay overnight in the traditional Minangkabau way. Exciting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I really enjoy it.
So yeah, thanks so much Hanafi for finding this place.
No problem. Selamat menjamu selera.
Yeah, let's try. How is it?
Tastes good. You know what? It tastes kind of similar to what we have in Philippines. It tastes like suman. So if you're going to Indonesia and you're gonna try this, it tastes like suman and you will love it.
Bagus sekali.
Now I went to explore the village a little bit. It was definitely very quiet, and then also the sun was getting lower. It wasn't that warm anymore. It was actually quite cool. This is something I very much enjoyed about this place, because normally in Indonesia it's hot and humid, but seemingly not in Solok Selatan. The vibes over there was very peaceful. I think in there you'll easily forget about all the bad things that are currently happening all around the world. So here we have something very interesting. It's called a bedo, and in the old days, before they had the loudspeaker on the mosques, they were doing the prayer call with these drums, and they could be easily heard throughout the villages. Matsore. What's really cute, just before the mosque was announcing that there will be a cultural performance about dance and silat. Well, that's actually the one that my friend has organized. There is now going to be a performance which you booked, thank you.
Yeah, it is. It is called Randai and Silat performance.
Very excited. It was about the culture of the Minangkabau people, Silat and Randai. It was a very long play, even with my Indonesian skills. I would say not too bad for a beginner. I didn't understand much, but definitely the performance was really impressive. And I also have to say, the actors and actresses, they were really good. So tonight, staying here in this Rumah Gadang Minangkabau. Before, I only entered Rumah Gadangs that were museums, but this is the first time I'm staying overnight inside a traditional house. And yeah, that's really exciting. What's great, in this village the weather is not hot, so it's quite cooling. Probably won't even need the fan, and that's really great for sleeping. So I'm saying good night. Tomorrow is another day and we're going to explore the village more. We woke up and we found this bright sunny morning. This definitely made us very excited to explore more of the village. And especially for myself, I finally could get the answer whether KAWASAN Saribu Rumah Gadang is actually the most beautiful village of Indonesia. as we're roaming around the streets, you got to see many of these traditional Rumah Gadang houses. They're the ones with these very pointy roofs. Really interesting. The more I got to see of this village, the more I got the link to the Swiss villages. One thing that definitely very much fascinated me is how quiet it was in here, because otherwise Indonesia is actually one of the most populated countries in the entire world. And then you find a village that is about as quiet and calm as the ones in Switzerland or elsewhere in Europe. Another thing that I very much admired was how well taken care of this village was. And you can see many of these traditional houses, they're all going well together. There are no alien buildings. In a way, this place reminded me of Grimmins, because Grimmins is the most stereotypical Swiss village in the canton of Valais, and then KAWASAN Saribu Rumah Gadang probably best represents the character of Western Sumatra. Then there's also this tiny museum that we just visited. Grimmins also has that, and I think can learn quite a bit about the history of this place, which is really good. Now, another thing, I think this is really a good indicator whether this village is really that special. His Excellency the President Jokowi of the Indonesian Republic, he came to visit this village definitely for a good reason, because this village is indeed very beautiful. Now we continue to roam around, looking left and right. Every house was unique, all these ornaments. You can really see there's so much passion in all of these houses. I really love the commitment of the Minangkabau people. They're really upholding their traditions. And certainly architecture, that's one of the elements that is very present in today's culture. But not even that, also for the religion. So Western Sumatran people, they're very religious Muslims, but interestingly, they also really adhere to their traditional architecture for the mosques. Also in this village, there were 2 mosques that were basically built like pagodas. I like that very much. It feels very Asian, very contrasting to the otherwise common architecture of mosques. And here I just really felt all these mosques, they have their own character. Something I found very fascinating throughout our trip. We got to see many more traditional mosques, and we always were really astonished. But now the question, is KAWASAN Saribu Rumah Gadang the most beautiful village of Indonesia? I think it is among the top 5, top 10 villages, because there are a lot more villages to visit in Indonesia, and yet I still have to do that. But I definitely can say, if you want to visit a beautiful village, definitely this should be one of your priorities. KAWASAN Saribu Rumah Gadang, it is very well preserved, it feels very authentic. The houses, everything, great vibes. And so far, this is the most beautiful village that I have visited in Indonesia.